Okay, we're hoping that we're back up. If somebody can let me know if in fact we are. And I appreciate those of you who have attempted to communicate with us by email and told us that we were down. So, are we coming through now? Did you see him? No. Oh, God. He's not looking good. Nobody's saying anything. Hello. I am not going to start blabbering with any substance until I hear an email from somebody. And I'm not getting one. Blah, 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 blah. Well, this is too bad. Damn. Shall I tell you all the things my new dog destroyed in my house in the last 3 days? Jeez. He is a dear, a sweet soul, but he's got a has to rip everything apart problem. Ay, ay, ay. So, I don't know. I also went to a dog park with them for the first time. That's always an interesting experience. Every bit as much for the humans as the dogs. And the funny thing about it, and why I like a dog park, is that you interact with people you otherwise would never, ever interact with. And that's always good, because we tend to stick in our own little bubbles. And my sense is also there are not a lot of really good dog parks around here. I mean, that are truly fenced in, that have the kind of accoutrements you would expect in a well-run park. I can hear you on the phone. Oh, I'm back up. Michael, really? Are we back? Why do we all of a sudden just come back? We don't know. Our engineer, we have a new guy, and he's not here. So, Amy and I are, well, I won't include Amy in my level of cluelessness. So we rebooted, essentially, right? And we think we're... Huh? The YouTube one is definitely working. YouTube is up. I don't know if our... Thank you. We'll see. So I should keep going. People might have just dropped off, Why sit and look at a frozen screen? Okay, I guess we got to go ahead, even if there's only 3 people there. I don't... Anyway, I was ranting. And this just came in from David. Hi, Lynn. Have the powers that be finally gotten to you? You're off the air. And that just came in at 10:22. Just as soon as you started to talk about the Post-Gazette. He's already a conspiracy theorist here. No, that is not why. Although I saw this disquieting tweet right before I think I started the show. I'll see if it's right here. If it's not right here, I'm not going to go look. No, of course it's not. But it was about the fact that major media in the United States is now in the hands, 90% of major media is in the hands of just 6 corporations. Yeah, that might be. And the consolidation continues. And I have to tell you, all that means is we're screwed. I mean, really, you can say, oh, but the media is liberal. Corporations are not liberal. And the corporations that own our media, Disney, who else owns them now? Disney, Fox. These are not Sinclair. These are not liberal outfits by a long shot. And so once you get consolidation of the media in that few hands, you have the ability to propagandize and to sell storylines that that probably otherwise would not, and they'll be beneficial to corporations, obviously. So we're living in a country now in which corporate power has overtaken our government pretty much totally, and not totally, because there are still those who are in our government who take it seriously, and I think do try to do the right thing. But wow, the kleptocrats, the people who see our government, our country, our institutions just as fertile grounds for them to enrich themselves and to continue enriching themselves. So you pack the Congress with Republicans, and all they can do is make the rich richer, make the poor poorer. And if these same people not only own the government, but they own the media, it's not good. It's just not good. So anyway, I don't know what you missed of my rant on the Post-Gazette, but I'm just saying that they're being run into the ground. They're going digital. Boy, everybody's giving me advice, and mostly I think we're back on. Yeah. Okay. God, this little thing this morning was like the old days. Amy doesn't know this, but this kind of thing used to happen twice a week. I mean, it was just constant, and that's when we had the nice studio digs up downstairs. I don't know where I am, downstairs. That was held together by chewing gum and string. So we have been pretty, I think, consistent since we've been in this little room here at the newspaper. And that's good. Hey, I saw another tweet that said that the newspaper, City Paper, is now doing revenue sharing with its employees. Not you. Not me. See, we're not quite employees. But the few people who are, I mean, I guess they all got checks or something for this quarter of, I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody what they amounted to. But, I mean, still, that's always nice to hear when the owners even make a cosmetic effort to share the wealth. Did you know that you can't say Mormon anymore? I mean, are you aware of that? I'm talking to you politically correct types. The people, like, I'm not as bad as some of you, I'll tell you that. But people who, if somebody says, this is how I want to be referred to, you see now on emails you get, and at the bottom, a person's name, and then preferred pronouns. You see that, don't you? I mean, I don't know if they do that in the corporate world. They certainly do it in the nonprofit world a lot. Which, I got no opinion either way. I mean, I'm just used to the way things were, but that's cool. But now, and this came from God, so you can't screw around with this. At least Russell Nelson said it came from God, and Russell Nelson, folks, is the head of the Mormon Church. Oh, there I did it. He said this: the Lord has revealed something to him. Came in a revelation. The Lord has impressed upon my mind the importance of the name He has revealed for His church. And that is not the Mormon Church. It is, and this is the way the Lord says you got to refer to the church, the Utah-based church. Now, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And there's no abbreviating it to LDS. Oh, dear. Now, the New York Times headline says Mormon is out. But what the headline should say is, they can say that. But try to think of doing a headline where you can't use the word Mormon to delineate this particular church. And instead, you'd have to say the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You couldn't get anything else in. I bet there's going to be some pushback on this, and here's my guess. I mean, apparently this is like law when this guy has a revelation, and that's it. So I suppose among Mormons, there'll be some effort to stop referring to themselves as Mormons. But then how do they refer to themselves? It says you can't use Mormons and Mormonism are no longer acceptable. Mormon Church, unacceptable. The only way you can say Mormon is when you're referring to the Book of Mormon, the sacred text of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that'd be about it. So I just wanted to say that, because that's the first I heard, and good luck to them, because that's a mouthful, guys. So the Church of Jesus Christ, I'm not going to get it. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oh, I get it. The saints being like the founders? Like, what's his name? Oh, jeez. I'm seriously, no disrespect, no more disrespect than I have for any religion. And speaking of that, man, boy, yow. Do you think Whirl or Zubik are going to go down? I don't. Whirl already canceled a speech he was to give at some big thingamajig in Europe. I don't know. And two of the priests mentioned by name in that report celebrated Mass right around here Sunday. One of them categorically denying any of it. And in fact, the piece I read about that was rather compelling. I ended up thinking, geez, this guy, I don't know, he sounds like it might. There was only one charge against him. It was 40 years ago. And frankly, it sounds a little fishy to me. I don't know. So he's still a priest. This guy's name is Bauer, B-A-U-E-R, and I think he was in, I want to say McDonald, but I think that's maybe not quite right. Carmichael's, Greene County. He was greeting people before Mass on Sunday, and he is named as one of the offenders in the report, and he's one of only two. There's only one other on that list of 99 priests in the Pittsburgh diocese who are still parish priests. So there's him, and there's another one in Brighton Heights, John Geinzer. So I just don't know. I think the church in both cases decided there wasn't enough to remove him, but they still got mentioned. I don't know. How do you, in this era of accusation that one accusation can take someone down, even if there's no way to prove it. It's the guys who clearly targeted one after the other. I don't know. I'm glad it's not my problem. Yeah, Debbie says, yeah, the Post-Gazette is running an ad in the paper like the one on TV, making fun of their own readers. Why are they insulting their customers? I mean, who's reading this print edition? Older people. And down here, they're making fun of them. Who's the ad agency, and who's the genius who okayed this ad campaign? It's beyond belief. But then there's the bigger issue of expecting people who already paid for 7 days to just eat the 2 days that now they aren't going to be getting a paper that they've already paid for. And the Post-Gazette's keeping that money. And they're saying it's because those people will have access to the paper digitally. They'll get it. But that's not what they subscribe to. They subscribe to one of these old-fashioned thingamajiggies that you can hold in your hand like this and rip apart and use at the bottom of your bird cage. Not to mention wrapping stinky fish in it. Oh, my. I don't know. Was there terrible stuff going on this weekend? Hey, I'm worried that Manafort jury has not come in yet. They've deliberated 2 days. I thought this case was like a slam dunk, like anyone sitting there said. I mean, it was just so clear this guy was guilty as hell. So what's the jury in there? They're back at it again today. This is day 3. Makes me nervous. Because if Mueller doesn't come in with a conviction on this, that's just going to really be bad. I don't know. What do I know? I've decided to stop getting out ahead, although I just did, of, this. I've decided to try to stop doing what CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them do, which is speculate. I mean, that's how you fill that maw of, 24/7 coverage. You, first of all, repeat yourself ad nauseum, but you imagine and you posit and you speculate about the future. You read goat entrails, essentially. I mean, that's really sort of what those panels on all those shows are doing. Well, not necessarily. Some give you historical perspective, which I always appreciate. But it's the, trying to prophesize or saying darkly that if this doesn't happen, then that's bad. And this, things are complicated enough just to take them as they come these days, it seems. And I think the one thing we all know, because we've learned it in the last unhappy 18 months, is that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Notice I said before it gets better with, a sense that it will, but it's going to get worse. I mean, you've got who now siding with Richard Nixon. I mean, he knows where history's going to put him now. And he's just flailing around. And Giuliani, are they both too demented Manhattanites? I mean, are they both? They're both over 70. And Giuliani seems like he's raving, like he's a madman. And we know Trump has seemed that way for some time. And this is the president of the United States and supposedly his lawyer saying, what did he say on, was it Meet the Press? This, not that I watch any of those shows. Did he say, literally, truth is not truth? That was from Giuliani? What was he quoting, George Orwell or something? He was not. I mean, we are full Orwell with these people. Truth is not truth. Okay. Whatever. What we got here? Hey, you want to be in a movie? This is good. They're looking for extras. Now, granted, an extra. They're looking for extras, though. But still, you'd be in a movie with Tom Hanks. They're looking for extras for the Mr. Rogers movie that they're filming here, starring Tom Hanks. And it's called You Are My Friend. And there's an open casting call. I'm just telling you, they need you. They need anybody. They need human beings. All stripes, all sizes, all colors, all genders, age, it doesn't matter. These are for people who will be Pittsburgh pedestrians. You don't need acting talent to walk, okay? Pittsburgh pedestrians, ballroom party guests. That'd be more fun because you get to dress up and stuff. They're looking for people who can play journalists. I'm going to bite my tongue from making any jokes there. They need businessmen and women, wedding guests, bar and restaurant patrons, and more. They want everybody, babies, children, teenagers, old people, black, white, and in between. And the casting call is at the, I think it's at the convention center. Yeah, it should be because everyone and their uncle's going to want to be in this. This Saturday. Okay? This Saturday, when you will not be receiving a Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. You can drown your sorrows by standing in line at the David Lawrence Convention Center downtown, 9 a.m. to 4. Okay? Just saying. And they also do say, not all extras will be paid. Some extras will be paid. Selected extras will be paid. I suppose somebody who they'll tell one of the hordes to, hey, I need you when you walk by Tom Hanks to turn or something. Yeah. And so that person will get paid or whoever. I don't know what. Anyway, so there it is. And it says extras should show up in 90s clothing if available. What's 90s clothing? I mean, I'm still wearing stuff I had in the 90s, aren't you? Man, I got underwear from the 90s. What's 90s clothing? I'm serious. I mean, it seemed... Okay, I don't know. Anyway, if you have 90s clothing... I mean... Okay, so that'd be fun, or not. What it'd be is standing around endlessly. But you could be in a Tom Hanks movie, which is sort of a fun little fact about you, perhaps. Whatever. You won't be seeing me there, I'll tell you that. My favorite story that I came across this weekend was a story about, I've talked about crows before, because, people don't like them because they don't have a pretty voice. They don't have a pretty song they sing. They ain't particularly beautiful, But what they are is smart as hell. And there is a huge theme park in France. It's big. I mean, second only to Disney World in France. Disneyland Paris, I believe it's called, right? Which seems like such a mistake. I mean, there's something about when I think of Paris and I think of Disneyland, I don't see any confluence, and I don't see any way to meld those two, that thing in that venue. I don't see it at all, but there it is. So this thing is another park that is very large, about 4 hours from Paris. And it turns out that the French are just as much pigs as Americans are, and they smoke more. And what they do is they're smoking, and then they toss their cigarette butts. And the park tries to keep ahead of all of this crap that people are tossing. And it's not just cigarette butts, it's anything, litter, okay? So they decided to train 6 crows as a litter squad. And do you know that these birds, I'm looking at a picture, and it's too little for you to see because it's barely, I'm looking at a picture of a crow with a cigarette butt in his, looks like he's smoking it. But that's not what he's doing. He has just picked up that cigarette butt, and he is about to deposit it in the box that he has been trained to deposit it in. And when the crow puts the cigarette butt or whatever trash in the slot, a drawer opens up and he gets paid. Because crows, as I said, are smart. They ain't doing this for nothing. They are doing it for peanuts, however, but they are not doing it for nothing. So they have been trained, and the expectation is you pick up trash, and for every piece of trash, we're going to, pay you with food. Now, most of the food is just bird seed because they don't want these guys to get, an unhealthy diet. But every once in a while, and the crows know this, it's better than bird seed. It's something pretty good. So it turns out as soon as this started looking like that, this works. They said, well, can we teach the pigeons? Can we teach the pigeons of Paris or New York or Pittsburgh to do this? And I got to tell you, the answer is no. You can't. Bird experts say that no wild bird would ever allow themselves to be trained to pick up human garbage. They have too much dignity. So these crows were captive crows. Poor things. And they were particularly, trained. But the people who trained them also disparagingly said of pigeons, who I like too, that they're not very smart. And a lot of other people think this whole thing is outrageous and say it is not proper to commandeer birds and wildlife of any kind to do our dirty work. And somebody else said, well, heck, if you can train a crow to pick up trash, why the heck can't you train a human being? So anyway, I just wanted you to say they're training crows in France to pick up after us. Oh, Milton, honest to Pete. He's got French crow video. Is it the French crows picking up? Are they picking up? I don't know. There's an ad showing. I'll let you know. So last night, yeah, that is what it is. If I send that to you, we'll post it. But I think you're going to have to watch this. Skip ad. Okay. Oh, yeah, there he is. And he's picked up a cigarette butt, flies away, and sticks it in the little box. I'm telling you, they're smart. It's just a gimmick. Oh, my God. They just showed the amount of cigarette butts these birds have picked up. God, human beings, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm sorry. We're disgusting. We are. Okay, I'll get this to you somehow. I'm so conflicted here. Wait, because I want to watch the video. Okay. I'm forwarding this. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little... I'm blaming everything not on Trump anymore. I'm blaming it on my dog. If I seem a little disjointed and not quite there, it's the dog's fault. It's like, you get a dog and your life as you knew it is over. That's all. That's all there is to it. I knew that. And I'm not saying I, regret it at all, but geez. Did I tell you my dog ate my Xanax? I didn't. Did I? Oh, God. Well, he didn't eat the pills, thank God. He ate the bottle, and I found the pills all over the floor. The bottle was finished. And I knew he hadn't eaten Xanax because he was still doing what he always does, which is bouncing off the walls. So, all right. So I was watching some television. I felt like watching some television last night, and I don't know. I was just channel hopping, which is stupid since you can find ways of not having to go from thing to thing. Anyway, I was just going through, and I came upon the Women's National Gymnastics Championship. And women's gymnastics have been in the news a lot, right? Because I'm thinking, oh my God, now we know it seems like all these young, extraordinarily athletic girls have been abused, sexually abused. What is it with, these team sports? You got the wrestling coaches in Ohio, you got these in Michigan and in other places. So anyway, I thought, oh my God. Was Simone Biles one of them who said that she had been? I don't know, because she won, hands down. This is an Olympic champion, too. And what is amazing about that, might be, like LeBron James, Michael Jordan caliber in her sport. Like, off the charts. And what was amazing is that she had essentially taken last year off. So she cleaned up at the Olympics and then pretty much stopped. And then she decided to come back. And she came back, and she's 20 times better than she was. Unbelievable. So there's Simone Biles, who clearly is beyond belief. Now she's a 5-time national champion, all of 21 years old. And she looks older. She looks a little bit different. Coming in at number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and Simone Biles is African American, black. Coming in second is this little unbelievable, amazing Asian American, Morgan Hurd. She, too, seems beyond belief. And as I was watching, this is what now living in this new country of mine, here's what I was wondering, because I came in just at the end of this, and I see that the black girl has just left everybody in the dust. I mean, she won so going away that no one could touch her. I mean, it was like 6 points ahead of everybody else when that's Ridiculous. And then this little bespectacled Asian looked to be, I think Simone Biles was towering over her, and I bet Simone Biles is no more than 5'1". So the little Asian, Morgan Hurd, might be about 3'4". She's that big. And oh my God. So anyway, they're the best in the world, without a doubt. American women gymnasts own it. Just like what the Romanians used to. No, it's not. It's us now. But the white girls, this is what I was wondering. In Trump's America, so now that I know how many Americans feel, white Americans, feel that somehow they're being supplanted, right? We know this now about America, that there's a whole bunch, maybe 40%, maybe more, of American white folks, probably more, probably over 50% of just white folks, who feel like they're being pushed aside, and that somehow the world that they dominated is being given to non-whites, blacks, Asians, brown people. So I was wondering, if you're one of these people and this was on like ABC or NBC, it was on one of the, and let's say you don't even have cable, all you got is broadcast television, you live in the middle of nowhere, you're a Trump voter, and you're watching this, and I just was wondering, do they watch this and not take pleasure in it? In the extraordinary athleticism of the black girl and the Asian American girl? And there was a white girl who was fighting to get into third place. So the whites, as it ended, were relegated. There wasn't going to be any white person on the platform unless her name was Wiley or something, were to come through, and she did. Now, none of them are thinking any of this. I normally never would have even noted it. I don't think. No. So I was left, I hate this, that now this loss of innocence, this sense I had of my fellow countrymen and women, has just been blown to smithereens by the ascension of Trump and those who find him palatable and find his message of anger and whites being put upon as resonating in their very hearts and souls. So watching the American women gymnasts, and these two non-whites just blowing everybody else away. Do these Americans who are sitting in their homes watching that, do they start saying stuff? Do they do they not enjoy it? Take pleasure in it like I was able to? Do they just feel aggrieved when they see it? Just another indication that they're losing their country, like these are the people that are going to be representing the United States of America? I mean, really? Is it like that for those people? If they see Simone Biles, they can't see an American? If they see this Morgan Hurd, they don't see an American? They just see a racial category? I'm I hate that that's what I was left with when I watched that last night, that I was wondering about that. Can you imagine how many millions of Americans might be watching this and saying foul things, racist things? I wonder. And I really, really am angry that it's come to that. Speaking of black women, honest to Pete, you think they had enough, huh? Those black women, honest to Pete. God bless them. So you know that there is a black woman running to be the governor of Georgia. When I first became aware of this woman, I thought, you got to be kidding me. I mean, there ain't no way. First of all, would a black woman win the governorship of Pennsylvania? Would any woman win? Would any black win the governorship? Let alone a black woman. Huh? What do you think? Okay, let's drop it down to mayor of Pittsburgh. Black woman, mayor of Pittsburgh? Huh. What do you think? Black man? I'm just asking. So here is this black woman in Georgia, and I guess she is potentially going to pull off the upset of the universe. Now, maybe not, but nobody is, well, anybody who is discounting her apparently is insane. She was the former Democratic leader of the Georgia State House. She is said to be a brilliant politician, knows how to get along with the white folks, who, of course, are used to running things in Georgia, and manages to navigate that. Her name is Abrams. I'm blanking on her first name. And it's weird because Abrams is a Jewish name. Not always anymore because people intermarry, but did you hear what is going on in one county? Just one county in, I believe, southeastern Georgia or something, Randolph County. The folks in charge of the voting in that county have announced, this county, by the way, is majority black. They have announced that they will, of the 9 polling places available to the people who live in this rural county, they are going to close 7 of them. They're going to close the majority of polling places in a big rural county that's mostly black. When a black woman is running for the governor, no one knows how to suppress people's right to vote better than Republicans. And I guess better than Southern Republicans. Now, understand that all 9... Oh my God, look what time it is. Oh dear. Okay, I'm just going to finish this. Well, we were out. All 9 polling places, the 9 that are there, were used in May for a primary. Since the primary, the County Election Board has decided that 7 of the places are unacceptable. They are not accessible to disabled people, and they will have to be closed down until things can be done. They are not, one is not clean enough or something. And this is obviously bullshit, right? Total. So you help disabled people by closing down 7 of the 9 voting places in the county. And this is also not a rich county. And some people, there's no mass transit. And some people don't have cars. So how do they get to vote? So, of course, with something like this just clearly egregious attempt to keep black people from getting to the polls to support this black woman running for governor. The ACLU, of course, is on it. They have filed a formal complaint. And, her name is Stacey Abrams, has drawn attention to it. And the guy she's running against is the state lieutenant governor who oversees voting. And incredibly, he has come out and said that here's his statement. As soon as we learned about this, we immediately contacted Randolph County to gather more information. Although state law does give localities broad authority in setting precinct boundaries and polling locations, we strongly urge local officials to abandon this effort. So here's the guy who would be helped by them closing these down, saying, don't do it, which is interesting. Just saying, so that's who she's running against. A not totally dishonorable man, perhaps. I don't know. But wow. Republicans. Unbelievable. They know. They wrote the playbook on how to keep people who are probably not going to vote for them from accessing a poll. It makes me nuts. Okay, we better stop. I know this has been an odd one, and I don't even know how we post it. We can't post it. Yeah, we'll figure it out anyway. Okay, sorry. Try to do better tomorrow, and hope to see you then. Okay, bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.